Let's start from the least traumatizing punishments all the way to the most traumatizing ones. Number 10. Face the wall. This is pretty straightforward. You'll be sent to stand against the wall for some time. Depending on the teacher, you might have to put your hands up or even kneel down. Some psychopaths will even make you roll up your pants for maximum damage. Number 9. Sport punishments. This involves the student doing some sporting activity for a torturous period of time. Something like running laps, yoga poses, wall sits, etc. In elementary, I was forced to do squats in front of the class for the entire period. By the end of the class, I had done 550 squats, which is my personal best to this day. I was very proud of myself, though sadly, I was incapacitated for the next 2 weeks because I couldn't control my lower extremities. Number 8. Penalty sheets. It's basically what Bart Simpson does on every Simpsons episode, except on paper. This is one of the more fun punishments on the list. What's not to like about filling 100 to 500 lines with something horrible that you did? In fact, it's so much fun that your friends might offer to do it for you. But there's just one problem. Once you reach the very last line, you'll be met with parent's signature. In hindsight, I don't think the teachers would notice if you faked the signature, but as a child, you'll be too scared to sign it yourself, so you'll reluctantly show it to your parents, and they'll read about what you did in class 100 times. Then you'll get punished again. But that's a video for another day. Number 7. Getting jumped. This happens when teachers completely lose their marbles and start pummeling the student like an animal. I've seen male teachers and female teachers go apeshit on a student. In elementary, I had this principal who looked like Idris Elba if Idris Elba had the world record for bulging eyes. Big scary guy. One morning, right after we finished singing the national anthem, he noticed a kid talking, so he called him up on stage. And as soon as the kid gets on stage, Burdie, stop him! It didn't end there. The man starts ground pounding the kid with his elbows. I started wondering if I was in school or in the UFC. Consider this your warning for not talking during morning announcements. Number 6. Group punishments. This involves psychological and physical trauma. Everyone in your class gets punished because one person farted and no one wants to say who did it. The punishments vary from everyone having to lose marks to doing physical punishments. But sometimes things will turn up a notch and everyone will get interrogated. Here's a quick anecdote. In 5th grade, we had this English teacher known for his sizable forehead and affinity of not letting things go. They're unrelated. And in one fateful day, someone whistled. Who whistled? Who did it? Who f***ing whistled? So then he tells us to take out a piece of paper and write the culprit's name. Everyone unanimously wrote, I don't know. He walked around collecting the papers and read each of them one by one. When he finished reading all the papers, he just got up and left. And minutes later, he came back in with Idris Elba, the principal. The principal turned to the kid sitting up front. You. Yes? What he actually did was throw him out of the class and told him to wait in his office. If this happens, it means your parents are going to get involved and it's gonna be a long day. This guy was playing mind games. He was letting us know that any one of us could catch strays at any second. Now, take out another piece of paper and write the culprit's name. If you don't know who did it, I'll kill you. And then guess what he decides to do next? He stood right above me, waiting to see what I write. What do? Go on, write. But I didn't even know who did it. All I knew was it was someone on the other side of the class. So I wrote, someone on the other side of the class. That's right, Smash! I ain't playing with you niggas. You don't snitch right now, I'ma kill you! I was so scared that I ended up writing the first name that came to mind. Aha! Where is he? There you are! It wasn't me! But don't worry, it was the same kid who punched me in the eye in the 1st grade. After he was done with me, he tortured a few other kids into snitching random kids' names, and about a dozen ended up getting punished. But the real culprit probably got away. Number 5. Get ready, cause things are about to get ugly. Taking off your pants. It's the classic go in front of the class and take off your pants punishment. Basically a humiliation ritual for minors. I never saw this happening in person, but I heard stories of it happening in other classes. It would have been bad if I was told to do this punishment, since at the time I had esaurochophobia. Yeah, it's an egregious punishment, I know, and someone should probably go to jail for it. But if you thought that was bad, the next punishment is even worse. Number 4, singing in front of the class. When you're yapping in the class a little too much, some teachers will force you to go in front of the class and sing. I would argue that's more embarrassing than standing in your underwear. Number 3, hold your ear. This is one of the more peculiar punishments. The student is made to hold their ear and stand for a prolonged period of time, but not like this. The student must first bow down and reach his arms under his legs and then grab his ears. Standing in this position causes a huge stress on your body and an even greater stress on your dignity. This punishment might also be followed by spanking of the backside, which is very much exposed. Number 2, smacking with ruler. Ah yes, another classic. You might be thinking, how's a little ruler worse than all the other horrible stuff we've seen? Well, you see, some teachers aren't messing around. They put their full strength in the swing, like they're trying to separate your metacarpals from your phalanges. Plus, the frequency of this punishment is much higher than the others, so I've grown to be scared of it. Before we go to the first one, here are some honorable mentions. Lift by the ear. The teacher grabs you by the ears and lifts you up from the ground, causing your future self a hearing problem. Changing seats. You! Go over there! No! The most horrible punishment in schools is number 1, pen between your fingers. By far the most horrific thing a teacher could do to you is put a pen between your fingers and squeeze them hard. This is something that could genuinely be used as a torture method. I applaud the creativity of the teachers though. Like, who even comes up with this stuff? Whoever invented this must have been one depraved monster. I bet they also invented water torture and K-pop. Anyways, that's enough punishments for today. I've been Yellow, at your service.